What up, people? It's your boy, your host, your moderator. Welcome to another fabulous episode of Just My Opinion podcast. Rate, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend, family, as well as a follower. Let's get this channel lit in the YouTube algorithm. You heard me? Hear me clearly, hear me roar. Okay, so we're going to get into a couple of topics. I'm going to get into two topics. We're going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Toronto Raptors. The Los Angeles Lakers won that in a nail biter. I think it was 123 to 120. And that was the game where LeBron failed to reach double digits in scoring. We're also going to be talking about Giannis, the future of Giannis. Is he going to remain a Milwaukee Buck, or he's willing to accept a trade? And who is delegating this trade? Is it on Giannis' end or is it on the Milwaukee Bucks end? I do believe it will be with Giannis pushing this trade, or the powers that be, the people that are surround Giannis, is pushing this agenda about letting Giannis go elsewhere. Go west, young man. Go west, young man. All right, so we're going to get into it. All right, so first topic, talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. They won against the Toronto Raptors 123 to 120 by the supporting cast of the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron scored, I believe it was 8 points. They almost lost this game because LeBron was trying to get that old thing back, which is his scoring. I think he was 0 for 4 on threes, and at one point he was like 0 for 8, just points wise. But nevertheless, he scored 8 points. He did get 11 assists. Okay. And even though Luka is with his wife, they're expecting another child, so he was unavailable to play tonight's game. But it just goes to show how the power has shifted in the Los Angeles Lakers organization, because LeBron would get this power, pick and choose when he wants to play. But Giannis is the future and LeBron is the past. I do feel like when Jeannie Buss was running the organization, she was pretty much running it as a fan. She's a fan. She's a super fan of of LeBron James, and just letting LeBron James just run total chaos with the organization. All right. And now they're under new leadership, they're under new management, and they're looking at their future. They're not looking about the past, they're looking at the future. And if you've been following this channel, I'm a big time LeBron James fan, but I'm objective. When it comes to just NBA or players, in general. I'm not going to be too heavy-handed with LeBron, with being a fan of a player, and I'm not going to be too heavy-handed when it comes to the team. Ultimately, I'm an NBA fan, all right? And if you've been following the NBA, seasons come, seasons go. We've seen many great players play during their playing during the young, as a rookie, developing, getting into their bag, playing in their prime, reaping the benefits of playing in their prime, and then playing outside their prime. They're not the players who they used to be. Go ask Chris Paul. Chris Paul is no longer a member of the Los Angeles Clippers, because a lot of things people would tolerate from Chris Paul, and I'm not saying Chris Paul is a bad player, but when you got the cachet, when you got the talent, you can, push your weight around with the organization, with team, and with coaches. But when you're older and your talent, it has went away, it's kind of difficult to still be argumental to a lot of people when you're no longer that guy no more. Chris Paul is no longer that guy. All right. And you're witnessing it with LeBron. If you've been following the NBA, this has been going on since the beginning of time in the National Basketball Association. We've seen this with Irvin Magic Johnson. We've seen this with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We've seen this with Kobe Bryant. We've seen this with Michael Jordan. We've seen this with Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen. I mean, the list goes. Shaquille O'Neal. The list goes on and on and on. When you're on top and you're winning and you're very, very successful and you got talent, people will tolerate and put up with you because at the end of the day, uh, you're winning championships. At the end of the day, you're putting butts in seats. At the end of the day, you're making this team the most important team in the National Basketball Association when it comes to media attention, when it comes to fanfare, when it comes to just in general. You add stocks and value to the organization. Go ask the Cleveland Cavaliers. When LeBron James was there, he put the Cleveland Cavaliers on the map. All right, now they're trying to contend to get into the playoffs. They got a good squad there. We'll see how the things roll. But you get my drift and you get my point. When you're that guy, people would tolerate your personality. They would tolerate your behavior. They would tolerate how opinionated you are, and they're gonna tolerate you because they are getting something out of this, just like you're getting something out of this. But when you get much older and the talent is not there anymore, you can't, athletically play. And the NBA is a young man's sport. That's why you don't see a lot of NBA players play past 10 years. They play past 10 years, but what type you're not going to get the version that you saw in the beginning of year one or year four or year six. You're not getting those versions. You're getting a much older the the mind. I mean, I'm pretty sure LeBron James' mind or any of these guys' minds is still young. It can still process things super fast and super quick. But when it comes to the body, when you send that data to your body has a hard time adjusting because it can't keep up what the mind is computing. And it just Father Time. Father Time is undefeated, and I've seen Father Time beat the best of them. And yes, we knew this day was coming with LeBron James. And that's why a lot of people, when they talk about LeBron James, they talk about all the stats LeBron James has, the most points in NBA history, which no one recognized that when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had it. No one recognized it even before Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, because the NBA has never been about individual stats. The NBA has always been about, unfortunately, and LeBron can try to change the narrative. Draymond Green can try to change the narrative. Unfortunately, it's about winning in the National Basketball Association. That's what makes the NBA so great. That's what makes the NBA so popular. Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Appreciate the hearts. But that's why the NBA is so different from the NFL or from Major League Baseball or from hockey. That's why people watch the NBA. The NBA is about results. At the end of the day, how many rings you have, how many titles you have. Everything else does not matter. Everything else is not concerning. All right. And I know LeBron James is going to hang his hat on the most points in NBA history. I do feel like that record will come down either by Luka or by someone else, because unfortunately, in today's NBA, in today's climate, defense is not important like it once was back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Unfortunately, it's scoring. And as long as the rules dictate the guy with the ball that's shooting, you're going to get this insane amount of points. Last night, 123 to 120. You know, I mean, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, this rarely happened, if not at all. And now you see it constantly on a constant, consistent basis. I don't know if people got NBA League Pass. I have it. I watch the games, and there are a lot of games similar to this. Okay, now there are some rare exceptions. You might see a team do a defensive clinic, but it's few and far between. All right, but that's entertainment. The casual fan is not interested in stops. The casual fan is not interested in defense. Defense is not glamorized like offense. Shooting the winning basket, shooting the three, shooting, dunking. It all involves scoring. So this is a scoring type of league. And it's going to be like this for a while. And it would not surprise me none if someone in the next 5 years get this record. Okay, but enough about that. LeBron James was also hanging his hat on, hey, you know, year 20, I'm still scoring double. My scoring hasn't dropped, which it has dropped. Okay, and casual fans don't know this. People that been watching basketball noticed the decline of LeBron James for like 5 years. The only reason why people don't notice it now is because, oh, well, how can you say he's declining? He's got the record for the most points in the NBA. Well, if you shoot up 50 times and you hit 20 of them or 25 of them, okay, you're going to eclipse that record much, much faster, particularly when you already been scoring. Okay, and you've been preserving your body, load management. And that's another thing I want to talk about, load. And Michael Jordan said this, the hell with load management. Get the best you can get out of your body now. Tomorrow is not promised, okay? Do what you got to do to get what you need to get or to be where you want to be. Carmelo Anthony, he never won titles. He won one in college. He won one. He won many in the Olympics. I'm pretty sure Carmelo Anthony wanted to win an NBA, have an NBA title to his belt, but unfortunately, it never came to Carmelo Anthony. But Carmelo Anthony, poured everything on the court. He gave it his all, and unfortunately, Father Time eclipsed him. Now, there's going to be some people that, Father Time, it can't, they're ducking and dodging, they're moving and shaking away from Father Time. But ultimately, Father Time is going to land that blow. And you're starting to see with LeBron James, he scored 8 points. I think JJ Redick, when JJ Redick was first introduced as head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, been following this channel. I told you guys I'm not impressed with JJ Redick because I thought JJ Redick was going to be another LeBron James stand, just allowing LeBron James to do whatever he wants to do, score whatever he wants to score, throw how many points, shoot how many times he wants to shoot. And JJ Redick is going to allow him to do that. Now, under the Genie Bus regime, that's the version of JJ Redick we was seeing. But now under this new regime, JJ Redick got some ish to prove. JJ Redick is not coaching for now. He's coaching for the future, because if this does not work out, JJ Redick is used to being a coach in the National Basketball Association. So he's on an interview situation where if other teams are interested or wants to inquire JJ Redick, they're looking at him, and he has done less with more. Even when LeBron James was out for a month, JJ Redick has he proved to me, he proved to a lot of us that I'm a damn good coach. I'm a solid coach. I know what the hell I'm doing if you give me the talent. And JJ Redick has done less with more. Um, I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna shock a lot of people. But if the Los Angeles Lakers are seriously competitive in the regular season and win with the best of them, beat the best teams, it's not out of the realm of speculation that maybe JJ Redick could be coach of the year. You know, who was saying that 2 years ago? Hell, who was saying that 5 years ago? All right. So I was one of those people that didn't think JJ Redick was going to be a good coach. I thought he was going to be a yes man, yes ma'am to Jeannie Buss and LeBron James. But now since the Buss family is out of the Los Angeles Lakers organization, business is not booming for the Buss family. Jeannie Buss is barely in tune with the organization. I think they got something with the contract. They got something contractually constructed for Jeannie Buss where they just can't just throw her out. But it's coming. The day is coming. But besides all that, I thought JJ Redick was going to be a yes ma'am, yes sir type of coach. Whatever LeBron James wants, keep LeBron James happy. Whatever he wants to do, keep him happy. Keep Jeannie Buss happy, because what makes Jeannie Buss happy is LeBron James is happy. All right. And this organization was turning into something I never seen from this organization in my life. And now under new ownership, they're having a different strategy. They're saying, hey, look, we're going to go after Luka. We're going to get Luka. Luka is our future. We're going to build around Luka. If LeBron wants to, do his retirement tour, we're cool with that. But we're not extending you to these lovable contracts where you reap all the benefits and all the rewards from these contracts. If he wants to return, I think LeBron James got 2 more years of basketball in him. If he wants to come back to the Los Angeles Lakers, it's going to be for very, very cheap. And if he wants to come back to the NBA, there's going to be a couple of teams that's going to overpay for LeBron James. And LeBron James knows that. He knows the game. LeBron James knows that. But the majority of teams are not willing to spend that type of money for an older player that's going to demand load management, that's going to always be injured, and he's nothing to what he once was. He's not bringing nothing to you but his name, his fans, and that's pretty much it. All right. Now, he's still got the IQ. I think the brain is still there. But everything else is just getting older. It's just a part of being older. All right. So if you thought that I was going to do a victory, I know LeBron James has done a lot for the NBA, but his era is over. The chapter is closing, and we're turning into a new chapter. LeBron James isn't what he once was. The Golden State Warriors are not what they once was. The Miami Heat are not what they once was. That era, Carmelo Anthony has already been retired. That era, we're about to move into another chapter. And we're going to say bye-bye to this chapter. And it was a wonderful chapter, but it wasn't an interesting chapter. It was a good read, but it wasn't a great read when you compare this chapter to other chapters in previous NBA. But it's an interesting chapter. Player empowerment. They focus. They wanted the players to have say-so and power in the organization. Load management, even though that wasn't LeBron James doing, he just adapted it. But it was Greg Popovich that started the load management with Tim Duncan and Tony Parker and others. Manu. Okay. This was a very interesting chapter, but we're about to move into a new chapter. The Oklahoma City Thunder is still tearing it up. We have to wait and see what the New York Knicks are going to do with their roster. But you're starting to see a lot of teams are copying and pasting what the Oklahoma City Thunder is doing. They are not, and I told you guys this for like 5 years. You're going to see a day where draft pick, a lot of organizations are going to hold on to these draft picks like gold. They're not giving them away like Skittles, like they did in the LeBron James era. They're not giving, because look what happened with the Clippers. The Clippers could have gotten, they could have gotten a player or the ability to get this player. They traded their draft picks for Paul George, and now that player, SGA, he's with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and he just won a title with them. I'm not saying that he would have won a title with the Clippers, but he would have. But the Clippers would be very. They'll have a very promising future if they would have hold on to their draft picks, not do whatever make Kawhi happy. The Clippers are if you want to see what the Lakers could have been, if Jeannie Buss was still in charge, just look at the Clippers. The Clippers, they have no future. They're depending on these old players, and these old players are not producing. The Clippers need to just wipe the slate clean and start all over, which is easier said than done. They don't have any picks to turn this thing around anytime soon. It's going to be like 10 years for the Clippers even, be somewhat of a successful team. By that time, Ty Lue would have been fired. A lot of people that were holding the hands of Kawhi, they'll be no longer there. All right. And see, this is what happens when you put too much power in if you put too much power with the owners, there's a cause and effect. And if you put too much power in the players, it's a cause and effect. But if you put too much power on either side, it affects the brand. It affects the merchandise. It affects the product, which is the National Basketball Association. All right. So you kind of want to, even it out, spread a little here, spread a little there. Both sides are not going to be equals, which the owner should have a little bit more say so. Not a lot, but a little bit more. But see, this is what happens when you let the players dictate how the organization should run their organization. A lot of these teams, like the Lakers, are just now coming out of the LeBron James when they was giving away their draft picks like Skittles. Okay, they got extremely lucky to get Luka, and the only reason why they got Luka because the Dallas Mavericks simply did not want to pay Luka that super max contract. If he would have stayed with the Mavericks, Luka would have been doing what he was always doing with the Mavs, which was, gain a lot of weight, not really take care of himself, because he'd be like a fat kid in a candy store. Pardon my, he would have been. He would not be what he is today. He's heavily motivated today. He wants to prove to the world that the Dallas Mavericks made a huge mistake, a big time mistake. I still stand on business. I still stand on my square that the Dallas Mavericks had to do the best deal for them. And the best deal for them, to me, I think they gave away Luka too fast to the Lakers. I think they should have added more teams and, put a little bit more pressure on the Lakers. And maybe the Lakers would have mortgaged, more of their picks. Whatever picks that they would have had, they probably would have gotten those picks as well. But you can't blame the Mavs because it's damn if you don't. If you give him the money, he would be the same Luka that you would have gotten with the Dallas Mavericks. Not trying hard, not really adding anything. He just collecting a paycheck. Okay. I think this Luka that's with the Lakers will beat the Luka that used to be with the Mavs 10 times out of 10. All right. He's heavily motivated. He's got support from the organization, and it is what it is. Now, as far as LeBron James go, people are gonna call this he's in struggle city. He used to live in it. Now he stays there, and it's going to only get worse for LeBron. All I can say is, the future is not LeBron anymore. It shouldn't have been LeBron for the past 4 years when he's with the Lakers should have been heavily motivated on their future. Yeah, we're gonna make you happy, LeBron. We're gonna give you what you want, but we're not gonna give up our future to make you super happy. You're gonna be happy. You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be good. But we're not going to mortgage our future. They almost mortgaged their whole entire future away because Jeannie Buss wanted to make LeBron James happy. All right. And now the Buss family had to sell that franchise. And now that franchise is in capable hands and is being run. Okay. Well, very well. All right. But moving on from that, we're going to talk about Giannis. Now, word around the campfire is, and this is all speculating. This is all speculating. We haven't heard anything from the Milwaukee Bucks camp. We haven't heard nothing from Giannis's camp. This is all pure speculation. Okay, whoever your favorite NBA insider, they're all pretty much saying the same thing. Okay, so basically, Giannis is not happy with the Bucks. They're 10th in the East. Now they did, with Dame Dollar, they did somehow, some way, got a small L from that. Not a huge L, but a small L, because in turn, by buying Dame Dollar out, I don't think they have bought Dame Dollar out, but basically they got Miles Turner with Dame Dollar's money. And they had to give up a lot of good players for the past couple of years just to stay under that cap. Now, Jesus loves you too. Okay. I don't know why y'all crazy. Okay. Y'all cray. All right. So thanks for the thumbs up, guys. So basically, Giannis is not happy with the Bucks because Giannis is looking at his future, and it doesn't look like a very promising future if he stays with the Bucks. If you look at what's going on in the East, I'm gonna read your comment a little bit later. If you look at what's going on in the East, everybody else is on top. Everybody else they may not be happy where they are, but they're satisfied. Because they're satisfied. They're not looking at today. They're not looking at their standings today. They're looking at the future. They're looking down the road, and they're saying, we're good with what we got. We're good at the position that we are. Are we in like maybe a championship position? No, not right now, but who knows later on this season. But besides this season, looking beyond this season, we're looking good in the near future, and down even further into the future. When you look at the Milwaukee Bucks, they cannot say that. Now, they got Miles Turner. They're on the hook for Giannis, but that's pretty much it from there. Now, they're gonna have to really draft very, very clever and very, very well. But this team, it's going to take a while for this team to get where they once was. And if it's going to take a while, Giannis he'll be getting older. He's not getting younger. He'll be getting older. So you have to say to yourself, the powers that be with the Milwaukee Bucks, do you want to, wait and see what this team look like in the next 2 or 3 years, see if we can get this team developed right so we can probably contend? But by that time, Giannis will be much, much older. And then how much gas will be left in the tank for Giannis? Okay? Or you trade Giannis and you get a bunch of picks, a bunch of players, because Giannis will demand a lot of picks and a lot of young players. And we can just start the rebuilding like right now. Instead of taking the hit for the next 2 or 3 years, we can take the hit right now, and then next year the sky's the limit. Okay, so what do you want to do? And I think Giannis and the organization, even though they haven't mutually agreed on this, I think privately, separately, in the ownership camp and in Giannis's camp, they're all saying the same thing. Like, this team is not going to turn it on like a light switch. You're not going to get all the talent that you wanted with a flick of the light switch. It's going to take a while. So Giannis's team is thinking, okay, what is a while? What, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? What, I'll be getting older. I'm not getting any younger. And the ownership is privately saying, look, we got Giannis. He's our franchise, but it's going to be a couple of years before we can turn this around. And by that time, Giannis will be getting older. Plus, you got to take into effect that the East is getting better. Like the Boston Celtics, they took an immediate hit. They went on, they had a fire sale. They sold any good player to get draft picks. So now they're reshuffling the deck. Okay, they still got their 2 stars, but their 2 stars are still in their prime. So even if it takes them 2 years, they will still be in their prime to, make moves. And who knows, they might be contending 2 years from now. And the Boston Celtics is cool with that. We good with it. All right. The Knicks, they're happy with all the selections that they made. They have flexibility in the cap. Plus, they'll be able to go into the draft. Okay. The Heat, slowly but surely, they're rebuilding. To what type of rebuild? They're rebuilding, but they're kind of competitive. Look at the Detroit Pistons. They've been on fire. The 3 teams I just mentioned will have a hard time with the Pistons today. All right. And the Magic, they had some recent success last year. They got some success this year. It's looking very promising with the Magic, and that's just a handful of teams that I know. And you look at Cleveland. Cleveland still got those studs that they signed in the offseason a couple of years back. They're still in it. They're in the thick of it. They might win a title or might be in the mix to win a title. All right. So that's like 5 teams I just mentioned. And I haven't even mentioned the Bucks yet. I'm pretty sure if I really do some thinking, I can think of 3 more teams before I get to the Bucks. So that's how far down the Bucks have gotten themselves into. Now you have to ask yourself something. Do you want to take the hit now? Or do you want to take the hit 2 years from now? Because 2 years from now, things could change, not to your benefit. Things could change in the benefit of the other squads, the other organizations. They might get actually better. So the Milwaukee Bucks organization and Giannis's team, they're separated, but both teams are coming to this same conclusion. It's best to just it's best to do a trade now for Giannis, because you can get something big for Giannis that's not going to resonate in turning the team around so they can contend and win a title for this year or next year, but they will have a future. And then Giannis can go wherever he wants to go. Now, a lot of people are looking at the Knicks. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the Bucks are going to reward the Knicks. And they will have to see Giannis, every year, okay, multiple years, and they're not going to reward the Knicks. Plus, they will have to take on Cat from the New York Knicks to the Bucks, and even though Cat is younger than Giannis, you'll have to sit up, but not that much younger. You have to ask yourself, is that even worth the squeeze? Okay. Yeah, we're getting young. That's beneficial for the Bucks. They're getting they're getting draft picks plus young players that they can build, and they'll have somewhat of a future. But then we have to, in turn, take on Cat's salary when we could have just kept Giannis. So I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen. Now, other people are speculating, well, what about the Lakers? Which, it kills me every year. a superstar is in trade talks or in trade rumors, the first name y'all think of is the Lakers. Like, the Lakers is the only squad that, first of all, the Lakers don't even have enough picks to interest the Bucks. Now, they do have Austin Reeves. He's going to be a part of any type of trade. If the Lakers doing any trading with any team, they're going to have to include Austin Reeves. Okay. But other than Austin Reeves, and you're going to get draft picks, which, by the way, if the Lakers keep contending this way, and they get into the playoffs, are those players that you're going to select going to be that significant from the standpoint of the Lakers positioning in the draft? I don't think so. Okay. So if the Lakers are going to get involved, they're going to have to add another team to sweeten the deal. Okay. Um, if you start looking at like the Charlotte Hornets, even though that's on the East, I don't think, out of all the teams in the East, I don't think the Milwaukee Bucks will be interested. They'll keep the phone ringing because they don't want to see Giannis, like 2 or 3 times a year. Remember when, they just don't want that type of headache. But the Charlotte Hornets, they're not going anywhere. LaMelo Ball, you get LaMelo Ball, he wants to be traded. So you're getting a player that's much younger than Giannis, and you can develop him into something, or maybe trade him later on down the road. That's a possibility as well. Now, here's a team that, if they do the deal now, I don't think Milwaukee will be completely happy, but the Milwaukee Bucks will be somewhat satisfied. And that is the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors have capital when it comes to draft picks. They have players like Kuminga, who will, the Milwaukee Bucks will get. Even though I don't see Kuminga a Milwaukee Bucks type, I don't think that's the guy that they want. But if they, they'll take him, and they might see what he's got this season. And when the offseason comes, he might be going to another team. I don't know. But the Golden State Warriors will have to give up a lot of their future and Kuminga to get Giannis. Now, here's the tricky part. I don't know the salary cap. I don't know how far up the Golden State Warriors are in their salary cap, because there's no way you're going to be able to keep Giannis, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry. Not under these new rules. So Steph Curry's not going anywhere. Giannis is not going to take a pay cut. Okay. So the odd man out will be Draymond Green. Now, you could add Draymond Green to send him to Milwaukee, but the Milwaukee Bucks don't want Draymond Green. What good is Draymond Green at this point to the Milwaukee Bucks? The Draymond Green's value is only to the Golden State Warriors, nothing less, nothing more. Which the Golden State Warriors will probably have to do this. I don't know how many years Draymond Green got left on his contract, but they're going to have to do what Milwaukee did with Dame Dollar. They're going to send him home and try to reach some type of buyout. Hold on one second. Reach some type of buyout. But that has been the topic of discussion with Giannis and the Golden State Warriors. Because remember, the Golden State Warriors wanted LeBron James, what was that, a couple of seasons ago, 3 seasons ago? And, they was interested in LeBron James. And I think they would love to have Giannis. because Giannis will be their Draymond Green. He'll be a Draymond Green, but he'll be able to score. And who knows? They'd be very competitive. Who knows where it takes them? Okay. They might be competitive enough to win a title in the West. Hold on one second. So yeah. So that's pretty much it for basketball talk. Um, have to wait and see how all this stuff plays out. I gave y'all almost 50 minutes of content. I really do appreciate everyone that has stayed subscribed to Just My Opinion podcast. I like to appreciate all you guys that's been hitting the like button. I've seen it. I've also seen you guys share this content. I really do appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I know I've been slipping. It's been mad busy, dog. I've been mad busy. Okay. So let me see. I'm just spending the good news. Have a good night. Good night, brother. Oh, I appreciate that. Same to you. Same to you. I really do appreciate that. I wish I would have read that a little sooner. Thought you had an NBA question. Okay. But I really do appreciate that. If you're still in the chat, all of y'all have a wonderful holiday. Get the opportunity to be around friends and family, people that are important to you, and we'll welcome in the new year, new promise, new hope. Hopefully, um, we can get out and under this recession that we've been in. Even though a lot of people don't call it a recession, but it is a recession. Everybody's struggling. Okay, you know what? This is a bad year when celebrities are struggling. When celebrities are struggling, we're struggling. Okay, so yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. I think the best way to do content is Tuesday or Wednesday and Friday. So I'm going to try to at least give you guys 2 days worth of content, at least. But I really do appreciate everyone that's subscribed, that's been staying on this long. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the support. Without you, there would be no me. It's your boy. I'm up out of here. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm gone. Deuces. Happy holiday, dude.